Hello, and welcome back to What Did AI Say? At Vicky L 4AI on YouTube. Thank you so very much for coming back to the podcast where we kind of ask AI for some, critical thinking and common sense answers to some questions that some of us have wondered about, namely myself, but I hope that you find interest in some of the questions that I ask as well. So, if you haven't had the opportunity, please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can continue to bring you good content and we can continue to have great discussions. Okay, we are on episode 22, and let's go ahead and jump right into today's question. Today's question: what is the real meaning of nirvana? Many people know this word because a famous band decided to use it as their stage name, and it took on a cult like following. There are a couple of songs from Nirvana that I can jam to. My musical tastes are vast, but there was also thinking behind the name that was a little off. So today's question spawns from that. What is the real meaning of nirvana? We're going to start with Chatgpt, and here we go. The real meaning of nirvana depends somewhat on the context, whether it's religious, philosophical, or popular. But at its core, nirvana refers to a state of liberation and freedom from suffering. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Whether it's religious, philosophical, or popular, but at its core, nirvana refers to a state of liberation and freedom from suffering. Okay, in Buddhism, nirvana from the Sanskrit nirvana, meaning blowing out or extinguishing, is the ultimate goal. It signifies the end of dukkha, suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Freedom from samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Extinguishing of desire, hatred, and ignorance, the roots of suffering. I'm going to repeat that. Extinguishing of desire, hatred, and ignorance, the roots of suffering. A state of unconditioned peace, not dependent on external things. Importantly, nirvana is not a place like heaven. It's a state of being characterized by profound inner peace, absence of craving and aversion, the realization of the true nature of reality, impermanence, non-self. In Hinduism, while less central than in Buddhism, a similar idea exists: moksha, which means liberation from the cycle of rebirth, samsara, and union with the divine, or realization of the self, Atman, as Brahman, the absolute reality. In common usage, in the West, nirvana is often loosely used to mean a state of perfect happiness or bliss, but that oversimplifies its original meaning, which is more about transcendence than it is about pleasure. Okay, so in summary for ChatGPT, nirvana is the profound peace that arises from the extinction of desire, ego, and illusion, marking the end of suffering and the cycle of rebirth. It's not about escape from life, but freedom from the illusions that cause suffering within. I think that's great. I'm going to read that one more time. So this is ChatGPT's summary in reference to what is the real meaning of nirvana. Okay, the summary. Nirvana is the profound peace that arises from the extinction of desire, ego, and illusion, marking the end of suffering and the cycle of rebirth. It's not about escape from life, but about freedom from the illusions that cause suffering within it. Okay, that was good, and that was Chatgpt. So let's go ahead and move on to what Deepseek had to say. A reminder of the question: what is the real meaning of nirvana? Okay, Deepseek, as always, goes into a bit more detail. So let's see if we can spit this out quickly. Okay, nirvana, Sanskrit, nirvana, Pali, nibbana, is a central concept in Buddhism representing the ultimate goal of spiritual practice, liberation from suffering, dukkha, and the cycle of rebirth, samsara. Its meaning is profound and often transcends simple definition, but here are its key aspects. 1. Liberation from suffering. The word nirvana is the cessation of craving, tanha, ignorance, aveha, and the three poisons, greed, hatred, and delusion. It is freedom from the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara. Number 2, extinction of the fires of attachment. The word nirvana literally means blowing out or quenching, like a flame going out when its fuel is exhausted. It signifies the extinguishing of all selfish desires and ego driven illusions. 3. Unbinding from samsara. It is the release from the endless cycle of rebirth and the suffering that comes with impermanence, anicca, unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and non self, anatta. 4. Ultimate peace and unconditioned state. Nirvana is described as unborn, uncreated, unconditioned, not dependent on causes and conditions, timeless, deathless, beyond birth, beyond decay, and beyond death, infinite bliss and peace, sati, supreme tranquility. Number 5, not annihilation but transformation. Nirvana is not mere nothingness or annihilation. Instead, it is the highest reality beyond all conceptualizations. The Buddha refused to define it in positive terms because it transcends ordinary experience. 6. Two types of nirvana, in Mahayana and Theravada. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm about to butcher some words here. Okay, the first one is Sa Upadesesa Nirvana. That is nirvana with remainder. Liberation attained in this life. So that is the first one. Liberation attained in this current life. An Adat or Buddha still living in the body. Okay, the second one is Anapadesesa Nirvana. Nirvana without remainder. Final nirvana after death with no rebirth. Nirvana in different Buddhist traditions. Theravada focuses on individual liberation, Arhat ideal. Mahayana emphasizes Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings, with nirvana seen as inseparable from samsara in the highest view, shunyata. Key quotes from the Buddha. Nirvana is the highest happiness. There is an unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed. If there were not, escape from the conditioned world would be impossible. Misconceptions. It is not a heavenly realm or a state of eternal soul. Buddhism denies an eternal soul, Atman. It is not nihilistic. It is beyond existence and non-existence. In essence, nirvana is the complete freedom from suffering, ignorance, and the cycle of rebirth realized through wisdom, prajna, ethical living, sila, and meditation, samadhi. Okay, so that was really good. So how does any of this affect our daily lives? Well, most of us on a daily basis, we do our meditation, we, do our mantras and all of that. And I think that a lot of us search for an inner peace that allows us to breeze through life unbothered. And I believe that nirvana is that ultimate inner peace that we all strive for, but maybe don't know that we're striving for it. But Deepseek and Chatgpt shared some really great information, and hopefully you'll, if you're interested in, getting to the void, which was probably the episode before this one, or experiencing nirvana, you can go ahead and continue to learn on your own and get to that state of complete and outer and inner void or an ultimate peace. So I think it's a good thing, and I'm glad that we went over that because, like I said, a lot of people have a misconception and they think that nirvana is achieved through huge amounts of alcohol or drugs, to get to that state of. And I think that a lot of times, glimpses of it can be experienced through different types of psycho drugs, but that is not normally how you want to get there. You kind of want to get there from through the monk's way of just meditating and centering until you're able to accomplish it without any assistance in that way. Okay, now we're moving on to the next part of the podcast, our positive saying. And this particular positive saying is going to come from Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Let me repeat that. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. And that's so interesting because we have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to want what the Joneses have or what the Jeffersons have or whatever. But I think that for all of us, we're here to find our authentic selves and live our own authentic lives. So thank you so very much for spending these 13 minutes with me. I hope to see you again for our next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast at VickyL-4AI. Peace.